it's another beautiful morning in the Isle of Spice, and I'm on a road trip. And those of you who are in foreign lands, whether it is Canada, United States, or nearby Trinidad, you might just be fortunate to see a structure that reminds you, or will remind you, of your youthful days in Grenada. And those of you who have not come to Grenada for some time, it will be a joy, I'm sure, to you to see that which brings back fond memories. And you just switch this around. So this is our starting point. If you go down there, you end up in River Road. So good morning all the River Road people. River Road. So we're gonna move on. My destination, the final one is Grenville St. Andrew. But then I have to stop off in Clocher. See, when you come to Grenada, it's always good to look up people who in the past have been very good to you. You have to do that. Now you can see the traffic, there's a lot of traffic here, and there's so many cars in Grenada. Well, now if you're going to Grand Dance, and I'll tell you this, if you intend to catch a plane at Point Saline, in Point Saline at the Maurice Bishop International Airport, if you intend to catch a plane there, you better leave earlier, because when that traffic jam you, you'll be in a real jam. And we're praying to get on time to the port. Now as I travel along the roads in Grenada, certain thoughts will spring to mind. You see, I remember all kind of stuff, and I was actually thinking about those who sell. And going back in time, I remember there was a man, well, he used to make different drinks, Moby and sorrel and all, ginger beer and so. But it was not only about just selling. The man had a little jingle, a little song to sing while he sold. So he would actually sing at Moby bitter like gall, sorrel sweet like sugar, ginger beer burning like pepper, and of course the bread and saltfish sauce that he sold. Saltfish sauce soft like pap. Saltfish sauce soft like sponge, he said sometimes. Pap. I don't know where we get the word pap from, you know. I tell somebody the soft like pap. I know all the women used to tell guys that, the soft like pap. I used to wonder what pap was, you know what I mean?
It's a flour porridge.
Flour porridge, right? You're soft like pap. Well, some people who listen to this will be soft like pap anyway. But how they feel, no offense, eh? And there was a song from Trinidad. I can't remember the Calypsonian. Selling, back on the theme of selling ice, shave ice. Remember shave ice? And well, ice, snowball, yeah, ice, cold ice in your ice. And what about the woman selling flying fish? Get your flyers, buyers. Get your flyers, buyers. And this one takes a kick. The woman selling Moby. Come boy, come and get your set. Come and get your set. And the word set, boy, that is a kind of funny word, you know, because you could set up at night and do homework. Years ago we used to set up, some of us, kerosene lamp, you know, because people, boy, they're fortunate these days, you know, they're really fortunate. They have electric light. Some of us used to light the kerosene lamp with the words home, sweet home on the lampshade. Well, some of you remember that. So you set up at night, you could set a trap to catch a crab. You know, so the word set, the popular, you know, and then you have to, you might put something there, and you have to let it set properly before you use it. So you put it to set, you know, you put it to set. And of course, ginger beer. Yeah, ginger beer is Christmas time, remember? If you don't set the ginger beer, it won't taste good. So you had to put the ginger beer to set, so you get the full flavor, the strength of it, you know, the strength of the ginger beer. And then there's one time, boy, passing through the Mang. Well, the Mang, the name changed, because when I was growing up, and some people, you have to differentiate between the Mang and Balishgong. Balishgong is actually where Port Louis, the restaurant across there, that's where Balishgong used to be. That name. The Mang was actually, well, the Mang, the word itself, it's like a marshy, like swampy area, and mud. It was really muddy. A lot of little tululu crabs, called the little red crabs. We used to call them tululu crab. The tululu crab used to run all around there, in the Mang. And then of course, Lagoon Road. Well, from the word the lagoon, and I mentioned in previous videos that to tell you honestly, that lagoon there, an extinct. Well, I don't know if it's really extinct, because the plates, all these fiery plates in the ground below the sea and so on, that can spring to life, you know, after thousands of years. But that area, the reason I said I don't trust that area is because in 1902, when Mont Pele erupted, if you read Beverly Steele's book, A History of Grenadian People, The History of Grenada, you will see that when Mont Pele erupted in 1902, Beverly Steele mentioned that the St. George's Harbor and also the lagoon in the Mang area there showed their sympathy. You know, there were like ripples and volcanic activity there also. So all the areas, St. Vincent so Frere and going all up to Mont Pele in Martinique, Grenada, Mount St. Catherine, which actually is a volcano, hoping it never erupts. And of course, Kikam Jenny flexes its muscle from time to time. So yes, going back to the Mang, I remember years ago, and you know what? We have to keep our history alive, you know, and we have to talk to people and tell them what was, because this is how you'll have continuity. You'll have people even appreciating their history and where they came from. I was in a conversation with a group of guys in the Belmont area, and they lived there in Belmont, and they didn't know that there was a time when the Belmont street, that was the main road. So it was news to them. It was news to them. And just this morning I was talking to some people, friends and young people, of course, and I was telling them that the Melville Street area, near where the NIS building is presently, and all the way where Combined Street, Combined School, was. So McBarnett was the headmaster there once. We had a nice little beach. When I lived in Grenville Street, we used to go to that beach and bathe, Melville Street. And I asked a question, but I didn't get an answer. Those of you who have traveled to various parts of the Caribbean, the question I asked, are there any other city in the islands of the Caribbean that had, or presently have, a beach right in the heart of the town? But we had a wonderful beach there, and we used to bathe on Melville Street. Miami Beach. Yes, but that's a story that I have told many times. Similarly, the Green Bridge. The Green Bridge, where we used to just jump off that bridge. And of course, any part of Grenada where the sea and the river meet, it's called the boucherie. Catch a lot of tittery. Now if you go to the United States and you tell somebody, man, I caught some tittery in the boucherie, boy, they won't know what the hell they're talking about. Tittery in the boucherie. Alright, so let's go on. as fast as the conversation goes from one thing to the next, you know, it comes to mind because my mind just go rapidly. Yeah? When I don't hear you, it goes from one thing to the next. We're gonna pass Spice Basket area, Bolio. I did a little thing up there, poetry, anti-tech, the event celebrating anti-tech storyteller, and I was happy to do some poetry there. Spice Basket. So this is Spice Basket here. Now we're gonna move on now. Pretty soon we'll be in GRENADA. So those of you who lived in this area, I'm sure you'll be happy to see where probably you grew up. Bring back fond memories. Now I often say, and people ask, you come to Grenada and you do all these tape recordings, video. You put a lot of energy into it. And I say, you know, my joy is bringing the world, bringing Grenada to the world. Because not everyone is fortunate to come back to the land where they were born. Because there are people lying on hospital beds. They're lying on the beds right now. They can't shift, they can't move, some in pain. And did you know how happy those people feel just to see something that brings back memories of the childhood days? Yes, some are in wheelchairs, sick, can't travel. So my thing is spreading joy, bringing joy, happiness to people. And there's so much that we can do to make people happy. Yeah, if you can look in front there, Grenada's citizenship by investment, Monkuma project here, go in there. Now, whenever you travel in this area, as you go up, as you start climbing, you'll feel the coolness, because we are approaching the area going up to where GRENADA is situated. So the coolness you're going to definitely feel. Now for those who do not know about Grenada, because I have friends who are not Grenadians. In fact, many of my Facebook friends, my social media friends, many of them are not Grenadians. So I have to go to links to explain certain things that are obvious to people who are born in Grenada. So for those people, let me say that tell them that Grenada is a mountainous island. A lot of mountains, hills. If you look at the distance over there, you see what I'm talking about. All the hilly areas up there. You have hills, you have valleys. I remember years ago when we were members, I was a child, you know, a teenager probably, and growing up, we used to hike. I was a Boy Scout. First I was a cub, and then I became a Boy Scout. And I always remember Mr. Clary. You see, we have to keep the names of our people, keep them alive. Mr. Clary was a Scout master, and we used to hike up to GRENADA. Those are pleasant memories, hiking GRENADA. Well, in those days too, we had a lot of organizations that used to actually look after the growing up of children. You know, they were strict, very strict. And when you're talking about strictness, you have to go to some of the headmasters. J.W. Fletcher, boy, that man was so strict. Because when J.W. Fletcher said, keep up the esprit de corps, you better keep up the esprit de corps. You play the fool out there, go and cuss a older person, man, it blows. Strict people. Mr. Ben Roberts, yes, we had a word that was used back then, straighten out. So children, guys who had a tendency to be bajan, to fight, like to create trouble, and they were going on a wrong road. When people like Mr. Ben Roberts show them the road called discipline, because Mr. Ben Roberts, you should straighten them out. Yes, you should straighten them out. And of course, another man I must mention, Corporal Bartholomew. Yes, all these people, they were instrumental in teaching us the right from wrong. That's why many of us, I would say most of us, the majority, we didn't grow up to be crooks. We didn't grow up to be crooks because we were taught and schooled in the right way. Some of you remember Van Damme. So all those bottom Van Damme, right? So this is, you can see probably some of you, sir. Those of you went in activity castle school, bringing that to you this morning. I know you'll be happy to see it. Those who have not visited Grenada for a while, and keep going on there. Oh, right there. Okay. So yes, back to Mr. Clary. Mr. Clary brought me to the fort, and with the scout group now, we all had to do something to pass, called the tenderfoot. I remember that, the tenderfoot. But the questions were easy, and they make it tie a knot. You had to tie a figure 8. Tie a knot. and the questions, one of the questions asked back in time was, who's the Queen of England? Well, that queen lasted a whole long time, so even a couple of years ago, you would still get that answer right. But they never asked any question about Grenadians. They never asked who was the RCP Mo, Speaker of the House. We didn't have to know that. But we become more conscious now. That's why it is so important for us to write about our people. You know, to write about our people. You think the Chinese and Americans and the Japanese don't do that? Boy, they do that all the time. They highlight their people. And I've said so many times. We taking that thing roll long on us, you know. You know, watching. Yeah, the Chinese and the Japanese, they highlight their people. And every Chinese come in Grenada in great numbers. Believe me. You're going to learn about the Ming Dynasty, and they will live in enclaves by themselves, and you'll have to learn about the Ming Dynasty. So we're moving up the hill now. We're going to go up to Grenada. I think we had to pass that truck, you know, because it means trust them thing, you know. Yeah, because if that thing will long crap, what's smoky pipe, you know. But yeah, that big truck, boy. There's some big truck up there. And looking at up there, the antenna, those antenna up there, right? We got it on, right? Yeah. Let's see if I can pull it in here. The antenna. Yeah. So I'm taking you on a morning ride in the land of spice. You know this that I remember so much. Let me pass this guy, eh? Alright. Okay, we pass it. I remember here. Yeah, man, the highway. Alright. And of course the front, where he just passed like, boy, them guys, some guys are really, they pass here around corner and all kind of thing, you know. Yeah, they don't care. I'm going to pause this tape when I reach the top. I think it's 1,910 feet on top of the granite there. Feel the coolness already. My friend, you alright in the back there? You alright? Good, 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 good. Very good. One of the things I'm always impressed with Grenada is the greenery, man. The green. You see? And I often say that there are countries in the world, rain don't fall there. Dry, 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 desert. You never get mango there. Not that mango. But we are blessed, eh? We are blessed. I was in an agricultural exhibition just recently, and the mangoes and all the different fruits. Well, there were no mangoes, to tell you honestly, but there were different, a lot of ground provision. Saw some big Tanya and Dashin, and I made a comment. It reminded me of a big yam that I saw Expo 69. When you say Expo 69, boy, people say, well, you're old man. But yeah, sure, you know. Old, but they're there. And that yam was so big. I can't remember Expo 69 was the right terminology, the right word used, words. And Uncle Gary, the man had vision. You know, I'm not a gay right, you know, but I like to give. If I see something and I think it's good and
Grenada on the map.
I put in Grenada on the map, I would say, you know, and I had some good days, yes. Expo 69 and Easter Water Parade, I'll always remember those times. A lot of fun, lots of fun. So we're moving up the hill now. Granite Rainforest. You know, I was in a conversation recently, Grenada, in close proximity to like Trinidad, Venezuela, just nearby. We're moving into St. Andrew now. This is the height. You see the height there? The highest point, 1,910 feet. Alright, so I'll just end this one right here, and we're going to go down to Burge Grove. Anthony Wendell the Riggs, happy to be alive, and happy to bring Grenada to those who are not able to come. Blessings, it's always a blessing. End of part 1.